Hi, welcome to the GameFound campaign for Maida 1806. It's the second game in the Limits of Glory series, and we're excited to bring you a new adventure, this time in Italy. During the Third Coalition, King Ferdinand IV, the King of the Two Sicilies, had declared to Napoleon that he would stay neutral and he wouldn't get involved. As soon as fighting broke out, though, the king changed his mind and allowed an Anglo-Russian force to land in Naples with the view to invade northern Italy from the south in support of the war that was going on in Central Europe. After the Battle of Austerlitz, it was obvious that the Third Coalition had lost in Central Europe. The small remnants of forces in Italy under Craig and Lacy were now the only forces facing the French. Napoleon, who was very angry with Ferdinand IV for what he saw as a betrayal, decided to send Massena with a large French force to invade southern Italy, Naples, and take away the kingdom of Naples from Ferdinand. He also intended to invade Sicily itself to deny the harbours there to the Royal Navy. So Massena is invading from the north, facing Craig with his British, Lacy with his Russians, and Dumas with the Neapolitans. The game, the French player is trying to occupy all of southern Italy, take all the important locations and fortresses, especially Gaeta, very important. The British are trying to prevent the French getting onto Sicily itself, and also trying to disrupt any invasion preparations by attacking back into Italy to disrupt the French preparations. The Russians under Lacy had pledged not to leave Italy unless ordered by the Tsar, and the British under Craig had pledged not to leave Italy all the time the Russians stayed. So it was dependent on a messenger arriving from the Tsar to tell Lacy to evacuate. So the game is about the balance between the French needing to extend and occupy all of Italy, lay siege to Gaeta, capture Gaeta, and threaten Sicily itself, whilst the British, who are numerically much smaller, have to depend on their Neapolitan allies, the possibility of guerrillas to help with uprisings and fighting, and waiting to take advantage of the French having to stretch themselves thin across the mainland. To pick a time to strike back from Sicily, land somewhere along the coast, and take back enough territory to tip the balance back in their favour by effectively stopping the preparations of the French to be able to invade Sicily. So the British are trying to secure the harbours on the island of Sicily for future. So this is the second campaign in the Limits of Glory series. There's a lot to think about. There's a lot of events that occur. Lots of things can happen. Reinforcements can arrive up for the French. French naval elements can enter. More British naval can enter. There's gunboats. There's invasion barges. Capturing and controlling the gunboats and the invasion barges is quite an important part of the game. So quite different from some of the aspects of the Napoleon in Egypt game, Bonaparte in Egypt. But very familiar in the way that the game works with its same core mechanics. So I urge you to please pledge for the second campaign, Maida, in the Limits of Glory series. Thank you for your support.